Oompa loompa doopity-doo, I've got another puzzle for you. Oompa loompa doopity-dee, if you're wise you'll drink beer with me. Before we get going here, guys, don't forget to hit that like button and please subscribe. If you subscribe, I will love you. Follow that Instagram page right there, @pats.thoughts, @pats.thoughts. I'm kind of a little nervous to kind of talk about what I'm going to talk about today. What I've come to understand, in order for people to actually be authentically themselves, they have to be vulnerable in order to build relationships with people. In order to build any type of relationship that I have in my life, I had to be a little bit vulnerable and tell them kind of what was on my mind or what I've been through or some of the stuff that I'm struggling with. And I think some of the times we like to add so much fluff into our life. We like to add so much good fluff so that way we don't really have to understand and look at what's underneath the fluff, you know? Like we just want to look about the surface stuff. If you're taking a look at the surface stuff and if you're just talking about the surface stuff, then it doesn't really seem authentic, does it? I'm gonna throw some stuff at you that I've gone through in my life. The first thing that I'm gonna tell you guys, and the one that I'm gonna focus on today, is my mental health. There was a lot of stuff that happened all at once. And I really didn't know how to handle it. It was such a hard thing for me. And I reached out to a few close friends. It kind of helped me maybe see that maybe I need to start talking to someone. I had this huge stigma in my head about what I thought, like, counseling or therapy or anything like that was going to do. To sum up kind of what was happening in my life, just so you understand my frame of mind, I'm the oldest in my family. Two of my younger sisters were getting married. My sister Kelsey just got married to a great guy. Great guy. Kevin's a great guy. And then my other sister Maggie, who used to live with me, she was getting married later that year to Robert, who's another great guy. The thing that I was having trouble with is that I'm the oldest. You know, and as the oldest, I don't know, maybe it's just because I had it in my head that as the oldest, like I needed to like trailblaze first, you know? Don't get me wrong. I love my sisters and I love the fact that they married great men. Okay, so that was one thing. The other thing that was on my mind, I had just gotten promoted. And I was starting to learn the new role. I was starting to get used to this whole idea of what being that type of manager is. It was taking a lot of time and energy and everything like that, like it usually does in a promotion and everything like that. Another thing, there was a woman in my life. It was a hard thing. We both came into a situation where we both maybe weren't ready for each other. I responded terribly in some certain instances. So that was weighing me down. But the problem is this all came to me at once. I didn't know how to respond. I didn't know what to do. Oh my gosh, there was one night I couldn't sleep at all. I was tossing and turning in my bed, and finally I realized, you know what? Like I can't just sit here. And I can't just lie here with my mind just racing, so I need to go do something. So I got up. It was 1 o'clock in the morning. I got up. I got in my Jeep and I started driving. I just drove because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know how to think. I didn't know how to process all this. I think this video is gonna take more than just one beer, by the way. So I drove. I drove and I drove and I drove until finally I texted one of my cousins and she suggested I go home and I wake up either my mom or my dad and I just talk to them there in the morning. So I drove home and it was 4 o'clock in the morning and I woke my mom up. We sat down and I started just kind of going through a lot of stuff. That was when I realized that I needed to start moving forward. I needed to actually reach out to someone, a professional who could talk to me about this stuff and give me professional advice. Long story short, I started seeing a counselor and it helped a lot. I think we have this stigma of these struggles that we have. We feel like, I think humankind and I think a lot of people feel like that they need to do it just by themselves. It's like the grit of the American way, you know, like I'm gonna struggle through something by myself and I'm gonna make it through the other end. And I think that's true in a couple different situations. If you can handle it on your own, fine. A lot of people don't know how to react to a lot of different situations, and so they start doing it very poorly. There is no stigma about seeing a therapist. I've seen one. It was good. I found so much clarity about who I am, what I'm meant to do, and all this stuff. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I probably wouldn't be making these videos if I didn't start seeing that therapist. It's 100% absolutely the greatest thing I ever did. I'm so thankful that there are a few people in my life who suggested it. Therapy isn't something that we should be afraid of. Therapy is something that we should embrace. Because we're all human. We're all trying to do the best that we can. We're all trying to move forward. We're all trying to achieve goals. We're all trying to do a lot of different stuff. But sometimes you can't do it on your own, and it's okay to ask for help. Just remember, we all need someone to talk to sometimes, because we're all human. Thank you for watching The Weekly Thought. Join me next week. We'll talk about something new. Cheers.